we're here today in the British Museum looking at the magnificent Elgin marbles, or the East Pediment of the Greek Parthenon.
The Parthenon is a temple on the Athenian Acropolis in Greece, originally dedicated to the goddess Athena. The sculptures, which were originally part of the temple's frieze sequence, were completed between 447 and 438 BC by Phidias, a Greek sculptor, painter, and architect.
So how did these sculptures get all the way from Greece to England?
Well, I'm glad you asked. From 1801 to 1812, agents of Thomas Bruce, the 7th Earl of Elgin, removed about half of the surviving sculptures from the Parthenon and sent them overseas to Britain. Bruce claims to have gotten a decree from the government of the Ottoman Empire, then in control of Greece, but the decree was never found, despite the vast number of documents that exist from the period.
Some supported Britain's acquisition of the marbles, while others viewed it as vandalism or looting. The Greek government continues to make efforts to return the marbles to Athens so they can be unified with the remaining marbles to complete the frieze sequence. The western half of the marbles currently reside within the Acropolis Museum in Greece, within sight of the Parthenon.
Let's turn our attention back to the East Pediment here in England. If we look at the sculptures as a whole, the figures all together form the shape of a triangle to fit into the pediment. The pediment is read from left to right. It begins with the god Helios on his chariot to symbolize dawn because the goddess Athena was born at sunrise.
It's interesting how we can only see the tops of the horses, almost as if the base of the pediment symbolizes a horizon line.
You're completely right, and then we see the gods and goddesses on Mount Olympus being present for the birth of Athena. And as the figures get closer to the middle, they seem more reactive and seem to engage with the scene.
In the center of the pediment, at the highest point, we see Zeus and Athena, who was born fully grown, although these central figures are now lost.
And at the right end, there are a group of 3 women. They are thought to be, from left to right, Hestia, Dione, and her daughter Aphrodite.
And like you said, it's only thought to be, since we aren't exactly sure who these figures represent. But the pattern of the chiton, slipping subtly, revealing the shoulder, could be attributed to Aphrodite.
The work of the sculptors is of very high quality, mainly in the play of drapery. They are remarkable for their naturalistic rendering of anatomy blended with a harmonious representation of complex draperies.
You're right. Many of these figures are covered in drapery. However, it is done in such a way that we see the ideal human form underneath and make out the musculature. Drapery acts almost like water flowing around the figures.
And the drapery is carved very deeply in some areas, creating an effect of contrasting light and shadow, a technique known as chiaroscuro.
As we move to the very end, there is a statue of a horse which went with the chariot that belonged to the goddess of the moon.
The pediment starts with a chariot in the dawn and ends at night, so we can see how it creates a full story of the birth of Athena.
Perhaps one day the 2 pediments will be reunited in Greece so we can see the full story once again.